do beg your pardon. Okay, Sophia here. I'm going to do some live sessions, not with readings. I will bring one card out for your well-being, but I want to start to bring back in my tea with Sophia that I used to do probably 2 years ago. So it's anything spiritual that you want to ask me, anything about manifesting, law of attraction, law of assumption, and your well-being, okay? Because I know that when I finished like Instagram lives or when I've done readings, a lot of you fall off the wagon. So it's here really to help you on your journey. So I'm just going to sit here and see who pops in. So I'm just going to put in something here and mute that and get rid of it. Okay, I think I got that up and running. So, like I say, anything that is spiritual, manifesting, law of assumption, law of attraction, and your well-being, then I'm here. I do Instagram lives, mentoring sessions, so there's lots of things on there for you as well. So I'll just wait and see who comes in. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Awful bit of hair here. That's annoying me, I can see it. Okay. Could be quiet because I know I'm in the UK, so this is the afternoon. People will be at work. And wherever else you are as well in the world. That's really annoying me. Stuck it behind my ear. So again, anything that you want to ask me, this is a chat session. So I know that I have a lot of clients who need that extra chat to keep them motivated. Yeah, it's just my top. Hey, there's no fashion police here. Hello Renata, my lovely. I hope you're well. So if I bring my keyboard over here, won't have to reach so far. Good, good, good. I'm fine, thank you. Wish I could spell, but hey ho. Clickety, clickety, click. There we go. I haven't really got anything to say until anybody asks anything, but I'm here just as a drop-in for anybody. I've got the details in the chat. And we'll just sit here. and we'll see what happens. Even if I can help one person today, then that will suit me fine. So I will drink my tea. I'm keeping an eye on the chat on my other computer if you wonder why I keep looking away from the camera. And bits dropping on the floor. Like I say, I used to do tea with Sophia. I haven't done it for probably 2 years because I've gone more towards Instagram. But if any of you want to engage, ask me anything. If you are feeling down, I'm not a qualified doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist, okay, but I do have mental health training background, okay. Also with my spiritual side, you know, I've been helping people for over 30 years. If I can't, you know, it will be based on how I've helped clients over the years. It will be my mental health knowledge, well-being knowledge, spiritual knowledge, manifesting knowledge, okay, and personal knowledge. I mean, Christ, I'm 56, hey, so it's not like I'm 18 and don't know anything about life. The idea came to me this morning, actually. Came to me this morning, so perhaps your thoughts came trickling through. I suppose you want to go back out now. I've just closed the door. Right, come on then, let's let the dog out. This is what we're going to have in the lives. She'll probably come back in. But there's not going to be any airs and graces. There's not going to be anything. I'm here to help you. That dog's going to come back in. I know she is. Got another book today with amazing on. So that's another manifesting journal. I've got so many notebooks, you know. Yes, and I did watch some of Success Stories yesterday, so here we go. Hello, Charlie, my lovely. Iman, you follow me on... Yes, you do follow me on Instagram, that's okay. Of course you do. Wish I didn't have these frown lines. Always makes me look grumpy. I was watching some skin clinic program a while back, and somebody had deep lines here, and it's like scar tissue for anybody else who's got them. As a mature lady, or even if you're younger, okay, some people get it across ways, other people get them here, but it's like a scar tissue. I used to squint a lot in the sun, and because it's so deep embedded, it's not like wrinkles where I can just stick some cream on it. I would literally need Botox or something like that, and I'm not going for that. I don't like needles. Here she is. Here's the dog. She's going to be in and out. Yes, I know you do follow me. Sorry, man. That was a duh moment. Oh no, I can't do Botox. No. If I can avoid needles, I will avoid needles. Thank you, my lovelies. But it always makes me look like I've got a new age spot coming up here, and that really bugs me. I suppose it's part of getting old. Okay, let me just put some of this back in as we're going up the chat. Just want to keep things copied and pasted because people wonder why I'm on here. Oh, don't know if that came out. That's me. Like I say, I know that a lot of you are going to be at work. Hello, Jess. Didn't expect to see you this time of day. Mind you, what time of day is it? 3? Can't remember if you're 7 hours behind me or something. Yes, it is. It is early on your time zone, and thank you, Charlie. Yes, we're here to embrace our beauty. We're all beautiful beings anyway. I don't see the need for any bullying or anything like that because everybody is unique. Everybody has feelings and emotions. Anyway, that's part of the well-being, but don't want it to turn into political or religious here. Okay, so how to let thoughts become embedded in our subconscious by repetition. Okay, and how to demolish the existing wrongly embedded thoughts. Well, they're not wrong. It's just your previous beliefs and assumptions. So don't beat yourself up about them. It's just being aware that when they do come up. So for me, because I stay in my boss power, okay, I remind myself that I'm the boss of my company, which is my personal reality. So any thoughts, my body, other people in my personal reality are my employees, okay, because everyone is me pushed out. So for me, I will stay on my mental diet. So when I wake up in the morning, I don't go into dragging in the past or what happened yesterday, because there is only now in time and space. So the past is kept alive by you keep, as Neville used to say, reinfecting your mind with that. Okay, especially when you focus on a problem, it stays there. We're not fixing anything in 3D, remember, Iman. So I remind myself, oh yes, thank you for that. I woke up this morning. I got a roof over my head, etc., etc. I do a quick gratitude to keep me in a good vibration rather than, oh my goodness, blah, blah, blah. I will then remind myself, oh yes, I'm the boss. I'm the operant power in my personal reality. Instead of higher self, I will say that is happy self. So instead of like an HR department, I will say my HS department. So today I had a message about an email. I got a text message from somebody that was saying, I've sent you an email, and straight away I started to go down the negative old thoughts, and I was like, no, that might be, remember, all outcomes already exist. So say to yourself, yes, that does exist in one reality, but that's not the reality I'm accepting. I'm rejecting that one. It can happen in another reality, but I'm selecting the reality where this is happening. Okay, you have to really catch those thoughts. So I was really starting to feel nervous. My nervous system was kicking in, my feeling state. Okay, and I was like, no, I'm the boss. My HS department is dealing with the employees. Okay, everybody knows their script, etc., etc. It really is just that repetition every day to weed out, like I said in the last Instagram. Okay, you're weeding out, not just snipping the top of the root because the weed, because the root is still there. So you're weeding out the whole root and replacing it with the new. Okay. In exam, and I'm beating myself up on that. So the more, remember, what you focus on grows. So you have to say to yourself, well, yes, in one timeline or one reality, I did mess it up big time. But in another one, I also passed with flying colours. But you have to keep going to the one you want. Remember, you've got to line up your thoughts and feelings with that one. So thoughts every time you think about it, not, oh, I did really bad, I'm beating myself up about it. Yeah, in one reality I did, but in another one I passed, because all realities exist. All possible outcomes are already created. So there's a version of you that passed the exams, but you have to tap in and tune into that. That's why when you hear about people who didn't do any revision and passed exams, or were told that they failed, but then there's a glitch somewhere in the system and they passed, even when they didn't, when they know they did really bad. Okay, so it really is you focusing on the new story. If you're wavering, then you're going to get hot and cold behavior, or you're not going to get the results you want. You've got to stay. No, yes. Okay, Iman in one reality did mess it up big time, but Iman in another reality did really well, passed with flying colours, and that's the only reality I'm going to accept, because I'm the boss of my reality. I am in charge. It's my personal reality, and nobody has any power over me. Okay, you can even say, imagine you've got a secretary, go and sort it out. Okay, imagine you're doing meetings to yourself. So how did I do in my exam? Oh, I passed with 97%. Oh, excellent. Or 98%, you know, or 100%. Go knock yourself out. It's your personal reality. It's nobody else's. Does that answer that question? Imagine as well, people, you're having a phone conversation, or you're imagining, like people have imagined they've had to access through a portal to see their exams. So they've imagined seeing, you know, you passed with this. You can do yourself an email. You can say, you know, congratulations, you passed your exam with this, that, and the other. But if you keep worrying about it and you're going out of that reality and you're going back to the unwanted, you can't expect to get the results you want. Okay, so you have to really be disciplined in the reality where you have passed. Okay, so I hope that helps you for that one. Let's pull a well-being card for you. So let's just have one of these ones and see what Spirit wants to add, because they're asking me to pull you one. So I'm going to pull one on this. Yeah, you're protected. Okay, don't worry. It's your reality. Don't beat yourself up about it. All realities exist. That's what you do. You reject or you accept. Yeah, you know, but if you keep going round in the old thoughts, then storm warning. Okay, expect to have a storm. It's how you talk to yourself. Okay, your inner talk. So I would be imagining I'd pass. Remember, it's that knowingness. We shift realities throughout the day anyway. Okay, every decision or choice we make shifts us. So don't be scared to align. No, I'm not accepting that. Yeah, like I say, Iman in one messed it up, but Iman in another did not. A man in another one didn't even take the exam. She does something totally different for a career. Okay, but you have to stick to that new one. It's sort of instant revision as well. It's you're telling the new story and not the old. So really make sure. So you can do, like I say, imagining that somebody's saying to you, hey man, have you had your exam results yet? Oh yeah, I passed with whatever mark you want. Okay, Remember, the 3D is not real. Within you is real. So whatever you are creating, and you're sticking to that story, not wavering, has to be what you see reflected back. The 3D is a mirror, remember. Yeah, so whatever feels natural, and then you have to get into, then you have to repeat it. So every time you think about it, no, I passed. I've already passed. It's already done. It's already created. Okay, don't start going into, oh, I wonder, or this, that, and the other, because you will slip back out of that. Okay, so you've got to remain focused. Remember, what you focus on grows, sweetheart. So we want to focus on that. I'm just watching the chat over there as well, because I got a different computer for that. Ooh, hot. Don't know if any of you can wear, I always itch. I can't wear a pure wool jumper because I itch like mad. Hello, Rashma, my lovely. So I'm looking at the chat on a different computer. But when I am answering anybody's question on spirituality, manifesting, or well-being, then I will look back at the camera. Like I say, I haven't really got anything to talk about. Is it still hot in the Middle East? It's like, it is still hot in the Middle East. It's like no winter this year. Oh, I want to be there. Mind you, I do like the seasons that we have in the UK. You know, it's always, even though when it gets colder, but you've got the, like yesterday when I went out, it was like a light, a weak sunlight, if you get what I mean, because obviously the days are shorter. You had the smell from everybody's fires going and bonfires, so it was really, you got the leaves still on the ground because it's still sort of autumn. Well, we've just gone into winter now. So yeah, how to manifest a colder weather? Just see it in your mind's eye. There's a Middle East that exists that is cold. Okay, so cooler weather. You know, like how I do with the weather when I go shopping. Lovely sunny day today. The sun's just about to go down soon. So remember, all realities exist. You select the reality that you want to be in or accept. So what would you tell yourself? It was cold, rainy days almost all year through. We did have a hot summer this year. We did have a hot summer. We've got even some of the reservoirs still haven't. All right, you're there, are you? So cooler weather. Just go around. So cool. You know, I love these, the cooler weather, having imaginal conversations with a friend. You know, hey, what about this cooler weather we're having? Remember, in your imagination, all things are possible. Everything, creation's already done. All possible outcomes, realities already exist. Um, 2013 to 2015. Trying to think where I was for that. Yeah. Doesn't rain all the time. Obviously in April showers. Mind you, that's shifted now. So we don't have much rain in April. We usually do when the kids break up from school in July through August. You can guarantee that the minute the kids break up for their summer holiday, it's a bit hit and miss with the weather. Then we had quite some heavy rain last week. This week has been windy because we get all our weather off the Atlantic as well. Most of it. Sometimes it does come up from like Spain and the Azores and that way, and other times it comes in the beast from the east, or we do get warm weather from Europe. So, and we get it from everywhere. We get it from everywhere, all around. So it is also the jet stream was pretty high over us, so we had a lot of dry weather and warmer weather. Like I say, it stayed quite mild through November. In the UK is where I am. In the southwest of the UK. If you look at England, you've got like a little bit of a boot, and I'm in the boot bit, like his foot. And they're getting in and out of warm clothes every now and then. Was cumbersome. Yeah, today I've got my thick jumper on, I've got jeans on, I went out with my woolly hat on, my coat today. It's definitely coming colder this week. And I opened my advent calendar this morning for the first of the month, because I'm still a big baby at heart. I like my Cadbury's calendar. Just going to keep copying and pasting for people who come in and wonder what on earth I'm sat here doing. I need to learn to teleport and move to Pluto. Ooh, I'm sure in your imagination you could do. Oh yes, that would definitely. Does it stay warm all the time there, Reshma? Or do you have like cold nights because I know a lot of places it can be really hot in the day, but then at night it can get quite cold. Which country are you in, Charlie? All right. All right. Okay. Sorry, I'm looking at both Charlie and Reshma's one here. So Reshma with your, it's mostly warm, except for the monsoons. And Charlie, you know, where would you want to be in the world? You can go anywhere you want. Okay, if you imagine being there and you are focusing on that every day, doing a 10-minute scene every day, you don't figure out the how and the when. I've had lots of clients move where they've had no money or just can't see logically. I've told them, just imagine you're there. Where do you want to go? No sunlight, it was difficult. I'm in the desert now. Yes, you're in the desert now. Okay, Melissa. It's only going to be one card for well-being and it's for you. So Charlie, yes, if you want to be near the ocean, imagine. You can script, you can write as if you're doing a diary entry every day. It was lovely waking up with a big window that overlooks the ocean. That would be me because I'm a water bunny. Okay, you know, and you keep doing that. When you feel that you're already there, you're not just thinking about it. When you feel you're already there, then that if that's your assumption, then it will have to become hardened into fact if you keep persisting in it. Okay, so if you imagine somebody, a friend saying, hey Charlie, where do you live? I live near the coast. Every morning I wake up, I have breakfast on my veranda or in my window overlooking the sea. Let's have a look for you, just one on anything that Melissa needs to know, please. Anything from Melissa, just one card from Melissa, please. And they're drawing me to a different deck, so bear with me. Okay, advice from Melissa. Okay, have fun. Okay, and it says, stop. When was the last time you had fun? When was the last time you took a chance and did something silly? Something totally unlike you? Something just for the joy of it? It's long overdue, and for you to let go of your analytical mind. Okay, your problem solving, your worrying, your stressing. Okay, let it go and give yourself and your soul permission to have fun. There you go. Last few, I've lost interest in my work and just want to stay locked in my room. No, Reshma, that's not like you. Feel I'm trying to run away from everything. How do I change? Okay, well, having in the past run away physically from problems, you can't run away from yourself at the end of the day. So I've learned a big lesson where I've felt like nobody's listening to me, nothing's working out, and I've literally like, where can I move or run away to? And it doesn't work because you can't run away from yourself because your thoughts are creating your reality. So, or keeping you stuck in one. So I would be asking myself, okay, if I feel like this, then what thoughts are coming in to make me feel like this? like yesterday, okay, for example, something happened yesterday for me and it was starting to worry me, and however much I was trying to pull it back to the all my no, I'm the boss, it's my reality, blah 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 blah, I was okay for like a couple of minutes, and then I would go back to the problem and I'd have to bring myself back, etc etc etc. So what I did in the end was say, yes, there is one Sophia who's having a shitty time, but there's also a Sophia who is not and has everything that she wants. And then I said to myself, so I don't know whether to laugh or cry. But it snapped me out of it, because you've got to remember what you're thinking today is going to be your future. So as all different versions of Reshma exists, then how are you going, do you want to stay like Reshma feeling like crap? No, you started your business for a reason, so write that down. Why did I start my business? For a reason. What was it I wanted to do it for? To help people, to give people my knowledge, to whatever you started it for. Okay, and then remind yourself that all realities exist. You're not creating anything, but you're tapping in and tuning in to that. Thank you, Reshma, my lovely. It's very kind of you. And Melissa as well, thank you. Sorry, I didn't see that one. I wasn't even looking over there. Thank you, my lovelies. That's really sweet of you. Melissa, did you hear your reading about go and have some fun? Go have some fun, girl. Go and have some fun. Life's too short. Okay. So again, being aware, even if you write it down, Reshma, as well, like what keeps coming into your head, that's the situation that you don't want, and what would be the opposite, because there is a version of you that is doing what you want to be doing. Okay, but how you get there is to tap in and tune into that with your thoughts, making sure that you have your thoughts. So if you wrote down, give me an example. So let's say, I've lost interest in my work. No, that's not true, because I enjoy my work. I enjoy helping people. I love making the products that I do, whatever you do. Okay, and keep looking at that and get into the feeling for 10 minutes. Yeah, I've got a successful business. Okay, everybody loves me, adores me, they appreciate me, they value me, they respect me. And if you think about yourself, oh, nobody loves me. No, everybody loves me, adores me, spoils me, thinks the world of me, will do anything for me. Okay, I am always respected, admired, appreciated, valued. I value myself as well. Thank you. Even though I look stern with me things, I'm aware of it because I'm watching myself. When I'm doing live readings, I'm only seeing my hands. But when I'm sat here, like, I can see myself on two screens. I'm a bit conscious of it. That's why I can never watch back my lives or anything. Once they're out there, they're out there. And I'm twiddling with my hair, and I don't like people who sit there twiddling with their hair in videos I watch, so I do apologise. So Reshma, did that help? Come and ask me more if you want to ask me more. That's what I'm sat here for. Like I said, even if I help one person, I'll be a happy bunny today. That's what I'm here for. But I must say, you are glowing and looking pretty. Thank you. Thank you. Remember, never beat yourself up about what you're thinking and how you're feeling. So once you realize that you can shift, okay, because all realities exist, remember, it's your assumptions, what you're assuming and what you're believing and what you're telling yourself. So again, with heartbreak, it's all about this is Charlie. If you've got, I've got my Get Them Back playlist on this channel because this is a subject that is too long-winded. There's too many elements to it. But basically, you are the only one experiencing or creating your personal reality. Okay? And you can be with your person, or you can choose not to be with that person. If they, you know, if you aren't interested in them, then that's your choice. But all realities exist. We don't live in a linear universe. We live in a multi-universe. All creation is already done. Every version of you and other people already exists. So your person is only showing up based on your assumptions, your beliefs, how you see yourself, how you see them, how you see love, how you see relationships. Okay, because people are a reflection of you. They are a mirror. They are a messenger, sorry. It can be how we react. So it can be many different factors. Again, too long to talk about on here. But if you really want somebody, then they exist as a perfect version. But if you keep focusing on the old story, the unwanted version, you're noticing that they're not here, you're still dwelling in heartache. Okay, I'll talk about heartache in a minute. But if you want that person, you've got to stop focusing on the old person, because that situation will carry on existing. There's a reality where you and your person are happy together, but you have to align your thoughts and your feelings to that. Okay, and how you do that is first by going back to self-concept. Okay, how do you see yourself? If a lot of people misinterpret love in a way that I need somebody to make me happy. Once I find my perfect person, I can be happy. It doesn't work like that. Because you can have a whole load of fear of abandonment, fear of rejection. You can have jealousy issues. You can have insecurity issues. You can have things that you've grown up with through relationships with parents, friends, family, previous lovers. Okay, so it's very complex, but simple, if you get what I mean. So that's why I do coaching, because I can work one-to-one with a client then. Because everything exists, but it's helping those clients to stay in that focused on what they do want and not on what they don't want. So you really have to look at the story you keep telling yourself. Okay, what story do you keep telling yourself? Let's just pull a card for you here. Yeah, ground yourself. Okay, so on here it says being distracted, unfocused, tired, irritated, and impatient. I know you've got heartache in there as well, but it's whenever your nervous system is feeling anxious, you're feeling sad, you're not a happy bunny. Okay, so ground yourself. It's all signs that you're ungrounded. Now is the time to become centered and allow your spirit to help you ground yourself. It's getting dark in here, so I can't see. And reconnect with the divine source. We're all spiritual beings, and we're all human beings. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. Okay, when our body gives up on us, okay, or it's our time to go or whatever, okay, our energy still goes. You can't destroy energy, but energy can destroy you if you are very focused on negative things and that, because how you see life, your subconscious is running the show. Okay, your subconscious, you're not having to think about breathing, you're not having to think about anything internally, because it's all governed by your subconscious. So when you want to see a change and you become consciously aware of, I don't want to feel like this anymore, I want to be happy, then you have to give that to yourself. It's no other human's job. Okay, as Spirit likes to say, it's a bit like a recipe. Okay, you're the main ingredients. You're looking at a recipe and it says vegetables, cuts of meat, or whatever. Okay, other people are there to, so you could be the ingredients for the cake. You can see yourself as the ingredients in a cake, or a stew, or a casserole. Okay, you're the main ingredients, but we can add a cherry on icing and cherry on the top of a cake to make it look pretty, to make us feel good as well. We can add herbs and spices or seasoning into a dish, so that is there to enhance the flavour of a dish. So other people are not here to make us happy, whole and complete. And, up until I was 50, that's how I'd looked at life. I thought, failed relationships, failed marriages, because I was like, well, one day I might find somebody who makes me happy and will give me what I want. It didn't work that way. When I gave myself it, by doing a lot of self-concept work and changing a lot of set in beliefs and assumptions and previous how I've seen life, and changed that, and then learnt about how the subconscious works. It's like a photocopier. Whatever you're putting in there, it's photocopying out. Okay, or a little robot. You're programming it with the thoughts that you're giving, and it's going to put it out. Okay, it's going to project it out. You're going to keep seeing it back, because the 3D is just a mirror. It's the reality mirror. Your 3D that you're seeing today is a result of previous beliefs, assumptions and thoughts, and old stories and unwanted versions, that is just getting reflected back on a loop. Okay, and in order to break that, then you have to, right, what is it I do want? Because creation's already done. Okay, so if you're biblical, as it says in the Bible, whatsoever you desire, believe you already have it, and you will. If you're not, if you're science-based and how the mind works, as Einstein said, everything is energy, that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. He does that add on the end. It's not philosophy, it's physics or something. You're welcome, my lovely. But yes, I've studied it for over 6 years now on the law of assumption, that which you assume to be true. So if you assume, you're always heartbroken, that person is an idiot, that they are unreliable, then they will stay that way. But if you start assuming that you are in a beautiful, happy, loving relationship, even if you've got nobody specific in mind, okay, if you've got nobody, if you're wanting a happy, loving relationship, then you have to assume that you already are. You think from it, as Neville say, not of it. So not, oh, one day I might find the man of my dreams, and hopefully you are waking up every day like, oh yeah, I'm in a beautiful, loving relationship. You're programming it into your subconscious, so your subconscious will start reflecting your new assumptions back to you. So you'll meet somebody so that you are in a happy, loving relationship. If it is a specific person that you want back, okay, then, or into your life, then you have to select the new version of them. Okay, if you are focusing on an undesirable version, you're keeping that version in place. They are horrible, they hurt me, they don't love me, etc., etc. So you're going to keep getting that reflected back. Okay, if you think about that, your subconscious is running the show. Nothing outside of you, no one else is sitting you on the naughty step. Your personal reality is unique to you. You're the boss of your personal reality. It's your company. Your personal reality is your company. How other people show up in it is based on what you've got going on inside you. I never feel pretty. I never feel good enough. Men always go after blondes, or men can't be trusted, or whatever. It can be so many things that I could not rattle them all off in this session. But basically, you have to look at your thoughts, where your thoughts keep going through the day, because the minute we wake up to the minute we go to sleep, inner chatter, in our thoughts all day long, chat. We have what, 60 odd thousand thoughts a day, 50 odd, 60 odd thousand thoughts a day. So where do they dominantly keep going to? Your dominant state of being gets reflected out and will come back to you. So in order to change that, you have to change the story, because all realities already exist. The how and the when's not your job. You feel like a person who is in a loving relationship, either if it's not anybody you know, hey, I'm happily married, or I live happily and blissfully with the man of my dreams. We're just so happy together. And you do that every time you think about a relationship or yourself in love. Okay, but not coming from, so start by, I love myself. Okay, I love myself. It's very difficult. It took me a long time to love myself, because I've always expected other people to do it, and hence the fact I've always been disappointed. Okay, so just going to put the light on a minute. There's a lot there. If you've got Instagram, I've done loads of lives. I do lives every week on it as well. The last few, I've just done the last 4 or 5 have been from where I did success stories, 4 success stories, and forward from there. I think I've done 4 or 5 lately that have really been, that it's all about you. We don't experience other people's personal realities. Okay, so people see us based on their assumptions, their thoughts, but they're only showing up in our reality based on our assumptions. Okay, as Neville says, people are messengers of who we are. We can't change them. We have to change our assumptions and our beliefs about ourselves and them and relationships. Okay. Yes, I have never thought of it in this detail, and it's so true. I'm so thankful for you teaching me this today. I did almost completely step my negative. Yes, there's only you creating your personal reality. And it does, sometimes we do have to wrestle with the old dominant thoughts, because you're going within in yourself to do an imaginal scene where you're in your wish fulfilled, like you say, living by the ocean. You are, for as long as it's over a minute, but for 10 minutes as well, where you are closing your eyes to the 3D that you're seeing. Okay, the old, it's all old, but if you keep reacting to it every day and bringing in the old thoughts, you're going to be in that loop. Okay, so really, hello CC, my lovely. It is wiring your brain, because your logical, analytical brain loves to problem solve. That's how we've been brought up, isn't it? Well, you do this, you learn your tables, you do this, but you didn't learn your ABCs and 1, 2, 3s in one day. You didn't learn to drive in one day. You didn't learn to ride a bike in one day. Some people do, okay? It's not impossible, as all things are possible, but the majority of us need that repetition. Okay, I'm learning Spanish at the moment, and so that is taking repetition. Whereas before, I've tried learning Spanish several times before, but I gave up really quickly. But this time, with knowing that I control my reality, I was like, yeah, am I going to go into the mindset of this is difficult? No, I can learn Spanish really quickly and easily. And I have been learning it really quickly and easily. Cece, recently my affirmations for my creative and business careers taken off. Well done, my lovely. And Samuel, you can't ever fail or fall if you never give up. I can't really see that now, it's getting dark in here. Hang on a minute. You can't ever fail, right? Okay. No, never beat yourself up, because what you want already exists. And that's how I do it. Yeah, like I said yesterday, when I couldn't drag myself out enough from the problem, even though I know how it works, I'm human. Okay, so my human emotions, my old belief systems were coming in, because you can't cure it all in one day, because you don't know where they're going to keep popping back up. So again, deal with it as and when it comes up, because you can. You need the negative to come up so that you can see that it's there. If you keep suppressing it and ignoring it, then it's not going to go away. It needs to be out and addressed. Okay, so that you don't go back into that, or you're aware of it as well. So yesterday, with the problem I was having, which wasn't really a problem, but you know, I was starting to assume the worst, because we like to assume the worst sometimes, except for Samuel. Then we do go off into that, and I had to say in the end, look, enough. Yes, there is a reality where this is the outcome I'm going to get, all the shit that I don't want, but there's also a reality where I'm getting what I want. So I had to keep coming back to that, okay, and distract myself, go and watch TV, mindlessly do something where I could not be focused on it, okay, because like I say, you know, even though I've been doing it for ages and ages and ages, it's still, I still need to hoof out the old sometimes and deal with the old. So a lot of your readings really helped to reconnect to my positivity. Thank you. Thank you. It's nice to see Charlie and Samuel. I don't recognise your names from, obviously I don't see who all my subscribers are, or people, but I don't recognise your name, so it's nice to see, engage with new people. The reason I'm not doing my readings, I mean, I'm doing live readings to help people because it's personal to them. But the pick of cards, a lot of people have said, why aren't I doing them anymore? Because it's all feedback. Okay, pick of cards are not personal to you. Thousands of people see them. If it gives you comfort that day, that's fine. But if you do come across a reading and it triggers you, then never see it as that's it. They don't want to commit to me, or they don't want to do this to me. See it, everything's a mirror of your old beliefs, okay, and your assumptions, or your current beliefs and assumptions. So see it as feedback. You know what? Okay, my person doesn't want to commit to me. Well, in one reality, no, they don't want to commit to me, but in another one, we're in a happy, committed relationship, and that's the only reality I'm accepting. That's the only outcome I am accepting. I'm the boss. It's my personal reality. Nobody has power over me. Okay, people in your reality are showing up based on your assumptions, your beliefs, how you're reacting, what you are telling yourself. Every thought, you're affirming something. Watch where your thoughts are going. Thank you, Charlie. I better go back and put why I'm back on here. In case anybody pops in and wonders what I'm talking about. I am going to try and do my tea with Sophia try and do it on a daily basis. I can't guarantee it'll be every day, depending on what clients I do have. Yeah, so I was just going to say, Jess, exactly what you put. It came to me today, if I'm just here, even if I help one person, if I'm just sat here, okay, so I know that when I do like your readings, if I'm doing live readings for you, and then you're given that reading and you might feel, okay, yeah, that's pepped me up, but then you're going to come back to your looking at 3D again, okay, so it is there to help people as well. How long have you been reading for? Since the early 1990s. This is my first ever deck. and you can see how worn it is. You know, I mean, can't even see her face. Then I got this deck, and that was in, look how worn that is, 1995. So I've been reading for a long time. I didn't read professionally for people until, well, professionally I joined a company in the UK, for a psychic company in 2012. But before that, I was doing, you know, local readings for people locally. In the 90s too, but only down. But yeah, and then I was doing it for family and friends, and then when I was working, I was doing it. People found out that I could, like, you know, I was psychic, because I don't use my cards in the traditional way. I use them as pictures. So because I channel spirit, so they are bringing the cards out for as pictures. How are we doing for time? Right, okay, we're doing fine for time. And Jess as well, you know, look at why you're still crying, because you've come such a long way, Jess. You've seen so many things that you have now brought into your consciousness that you wanted. Okay, so again, remind yourself, no, I'm the boss. Okay, you're the CEO. You call yourself the CEO of your company. And today it came to me about higher self. You know, I was thinking about, I was starting to worry about something, and I was like, no, I'm the boss. I have peace in my company. So if you're a boss, you've got an HR department. You've got a secretary. Okay, so I see it as, today I was like, right, instead of an HR department, I've got a HS department, higher self department, happy self department, I was calling it. So that HS department is dealing with it, especially because it was attached to a person. So I was like, no, I am respected, I'm appreciated, this is what I'm getting, okay? Even though I kept wondering, you know, my mind was trying to go back to the negatives. I was like, no, I'm the boss, this is what I'm having. This is what the email's going to be about when I get home, or this is what it's going to be, okay? And it was. But it took a lot to get me out of my old programming that wanted to kick in. But I certainly haven't had a cry, well, yesterday. Like I say, I was like, do I, don't I? In one reality, things have gone tits up, and in another, it hasn't. But I don't know whether to laugh or cry. So I just went and watched the telly. I'm a Scorpio. But again, I have always, up until 5 years ago, was terrible with horoscopes. Oh my goodness. Not so much, it was more the earth, fire, air and water. Earth, fire, air and water. Okay, and how they mix with each other. How they get on with each other. So I was terrible. Meet somebody within, you know, the first time of meeting them, you know, I had to say, what star sign are you? And it would ruin relationships, because I'd be like, no, I don't get on with you. Sorry, I don't get on with you. But when I realised that I'm creating my reality based on my assumptions, I ditched so many old beliefs. I don't read my horoscope now. I don't do anything, because I'm creating my reality. Okay, so I don't do that anymore, and I get on with well, everybody that comes in. I haven't not got on with anybody for a long time, because I changed a lot of stuff. I've been really catching myself and telling myself, no, I am CEO. It has been happening, of course, writing in my journal. Yes, writing in your journal as well, Jess. You know, you're doing really well, Jess, so don't worry. Let's pull a card for you today. Yeah, resilient. You're more resilient than you think. So we don't want to carry this bag of weeds. Okay, we're not carrying weeds around. So make sure you're weeding out the weeds and taking them away. Remember, you've got to get that root out that I was saying on Instagram. No good just cutting the top off. We need to dig down and root it out. You're more resilient than you think. Let's just see in the book what it says, because Spirit's drawing me to that. Okay, here you are. Making mistakes builds resilience. Okay, I have learnt, sorry, I'm going to have to look over my glasses, like a naughty schoolmistress. I have learnt my lessons from the mistakes I've made. I stand strong. I am an adult and I act with self-responsibility. I am strong and resilient. There you go. You're stronger than you think. Okay, you're more resilient than you think. Yes, you're going to have human moments, but Spirit's reminding you, you're the key. Have the realization, which you have. They're saying you've got that realization that you're the key to your future. Nobody else. It's not a key stood there. It's a person. Because we're all the keys to our future based on what we're thinking, assuming, telling ourselves, reacting to as well. Okay, let me just let the dog out again. Pain in the bum bum. Okay, astrology is a passion of mine. I studied it for about 4 years. Again, everything is held in your reality based on what you believe in. Okay, but don't, everything is feedback as well. I see 3D as it's just a mirror, because I've learned that, okay, that people are just reflecting my assumptions and beliefs back to me, how I've reacted in the past, etc., etc. So I know that this is a multiverse now. Okay, there's so many things that sometimes I feel like my brain is just going to explode with all the information that I'm still getting, the odd nuggets of information in, even though I think I've studied it for so long. But when you get them, you just see it as feedback. Okay, so obviously if that's still showing up in my 3D, then what beliefs and assumptions and thoughts do I have that's lining up with that? Because I don't want to see that. I accept it or reject it. Okay, you don't have to accept what is in what 3D shows you because it's old. Okay, so don't. Let me just read some of these. I'm Pisces and Virgo moon and rising. Who is Scorpio placements? All right, okay. Also, I have a good job. Right, sorry. Yes, I've been really catching myself, telling myself, no, I am CEO. Yeah, Jen. Also, I have a good job opportunity coming up too. So like everything is really coming together more each time. Yes, it is. You're really shifting, Jess. So be proud of yourself. Look at, you had your holiday that you wanted when at one point it was a no-no, but you kept on it and you went, had a lovely time. You've had communication. Okay. Not all singing or dancing, but it's something. He had to be thinking of you to have messaged you. Okay. Also with your, the online course, now a job opportunity, everything's moving and you're realizing that and you're seeing that. Yes, please, Donna.
No, I'll go now.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Let me come down here. I think I become Reshma. Sorry, I think I become too sensitive, get hurt or upset with the slightest setback or negative feedback. Have become really ungrounded. I have to become the confident person that I was before in 2019. Yes, that confident you still is there. I know when I have an off day now, I absolutely hate it because I have changed so much that when I do give in to my human side and old emotions and that, I don't like it. So it's like I have to tell myself, what's my training? Okay, I've learned this stuff for so long now. What's my training? I didn't learn all this to go back to my old self. I have to pretend, I have to talk to myself sometimes like I'm mentoring myself. What would I tell a client? Okay, for me, that I have to remember and use it myself so that I don't get out, and it's usually within a couple of hours, or it might take me a day, but I don't dwell in it. I definitely don't. All right, you've got one on as well. I just noticed yesterday the cuffs are different colours. You've got a grey one there and a thingy one there. Yes, definitely with Hello Nini, definitely with UCC. We don't go into it should be working. We're not looking at 3D. Okay, where's proof? Where's evidence? Remember in the last Instagram I did, if you have got Instagram, we're not looking at 3D. When we find ourselves doing that, we're like, no, I'm already in the happy relationship with my, SP. You have to come at it from that point of view. And let me go back and paste in the chat stuff. Like I said, for anybody else coming across it, be like, what's she doing? Yes, it's here already. A lot of people are now being aware that to focus within you is 4D, if you like. And there are a lot of people who cannot, who have not, who think the 3D is real and live in that and get nowhere. So I wouldn't say that collectively we've all reached the 4D, because I deal with a lot of people who do not believe that they create their reality, who cannot comprehend that. So again, everything you hear is based on what you believe or not. And for yourself as well, if you were there, you would not be letting the 3D make you have heartbreak or be living in a place where you didn't want to be. So you haven't reached that to an extent. Okay, so there are millions of people who definitely cannot take that on board. So I would not say that is a true. People are becoming more aware of it. There's more people, it's not new age. It's, from the Bible. The Bible is, one of the biggest manifesting law of assumption books that there is, or attraction books, either one. And again, in the Bible it says, whatsoever you desire, believe you've received it and you will. Not that I'm religious at all. But again, we can take snippets of things, we can use it in our favour, or dismiss the rest. You don't have to believe what I'm saying either, Everybody, there's never any point arguing with anybody, because everybody will be right. It's their personal reality. We don't experience other people's personal realities. They see us based on their assumptions and beliefs. Like I said, your people in your reality are reflecting you back to you. But we do get little nuggets of information in that helps us on our journey, if you like, to improve our soul's growth. Because that's what we're here for, to improve and have that human experience as well as a spiritual experience as well. As we've been discussing, this gentleman is living in his world that he creates. Yes, he's living in his beliefs and how he sees the world. You know, I don't bother arguing with anybody anymore. You know, if whatever anybody says, I just say either, yeah, cool, or just keep quiet and just nod my head. What's the point? They're right. If you are thinking a load of negative things, then you're right. If you're thinking a lot of positive things, then you're right. Because whatever you are assuming to be true, good, that's working in your favor or keeping you stuck, you're going to be right. So I don't bother arguing with anybody anymore. Sorry you feel that way sometimes if they're really rude or whatever, which it doesn't happen now because I've got my self-concept in place where I am respected. Okay, so it's very rare. And if somebody does come in like that, I don't waste my energy on them. I just say, okay, yes, that's one version of them, an unwanted version. So I'm only, what's the desired version? What version am I only going to engage with from now on? Somebody who's respectful, who is polite. Okay, so I only think of that person as that. I don't dwell in the old because all versions and all possible outcomes exist. This type of therapy, because do you really work through it? And it takes time sometimes. Thank you, Jess. It is, yes. But really having discovered about, you know, that this is a multi-universe and it's not just set in stone what we're in, and that 3D is just a reflection, a mirror. Like I say to my Instagram people as well, you know, if the 3D is, if you wanted to brush your hair and you're looking in a mirror, you wouldn't brush the mirror, you'd be brushing your hair. There's no one ever to change but self, because it's your personal reality. So with that understanding, even though sometimes I get that nervous, anxious feeling, I can control it pretty quick by coming back to, this is the principles of how it works, how reality works, etc., etc. So I can change really quick. Where I've spent years having very low periods and, you know, on antidepressants back in 2007, divorces, you know, awful, you know, we all have things in our lives that are a struggle or upsetting or whatever, okay? It makes us stronger. You know, I used to say, like the song says, you know, that don't kill you will make you stronger. But then coming across this, something really happened, because I've always been spiritual. And so when I was more aware in my early 20s, okay, I used to always think I was right because I was in my world. And then sort of getting into the tarot and that, even doing them, it wasn't until I went through something in 2018 where I didn't want to be here anymore. Okay, I did not want to be here anymore. It was something personal that I just could not see a way out of. I hit rock bottom and it was awful. I didn't want to live because the grief was so overwhelming. But then I came across the law of assumption. I heard a Neville Goddard thing about your imagination creates, and I tested it on the house. Got the house, okay, and that really shifted me. So then I could not understand that everyone is me pushed out. Christ, I was in my 50s. How can everybody be me pushed out? All the awful things. But when I really went within myself and found where my beliefs were about relationships, about the world, and anything, and how I've changed it and have got what I want, okay, it changed my life. If I hadn't have come across that, if spirit hadn't have directed me to that, because I can't ignore spirit, but I've got a different view on it now. Okay, I used to beg them. I mean, my poor Nan passed away 30 years ago. So for 30 years, I was like, please, Nan, please make things better. Or spirit guides, please do it for me. I didn't realize that I had to make the change. They can only guide me. So now I see it as, if I wanted to buy a house, I would not go to my earth family, my human family, and say, buy me a house. And it's the same with spirit family, if you like. I can't go to them and say, buy me a house. I have to feel like I've already got the house. I have to feel, okay, or repeat, oh yes, I am a homeowner, or I live by the sea, or blah, blah, blah. So it's really going in to yourself and definitely learning to love myself. Oh my God, I have picked myself to pieces so many times over the years, worried about what people thought about me and felt about me. Now I know that, what do I want people to think and feel about me? Because they're me pushed out. So what am I going to accept or reject? I don't worry about anything anymore. And when I do start to have an old programming that gets triggered, I can feel it straight away. I start to feel anxious, okay, and I will, right, okay, I'm aware of it. So I consciously am really strict at disciplining myself. No, I'm the boss. HS department, sorting it out, okay, people are my employees, etc., etc. So my days are better than they ever used to be. I wish I had known this in my teens. Okay, I soon got my daughter onto it in her 20s, you know, going back, she turns 30 this year, bless her. But she manifested her holiday to Cuba for her birthday, you know, without opening her mouth to her partner. She just imagined herself standing in the crystal blue sea in white sand, and logically was like, oh, we haven't got money. I'd really like to go somewhere nice for my 30th. And then a couple of days later, her partner turned around and said, hey, do you fancy going somewhere abroad? We've never been abroad. It's your birthday. And then she booked the hotel, and I was saying about it on Instagram, and it was negative reviews. She was starting to not look forward to it. She was wondering, how do I change a hotel? She'd seen a particular like chain of hotels that had really good reviews, but the travel agent that she booked it with didn't do those as a, you know, as a resort that they did holidays to. But she just went into her mind and was like, no, I'm not going to that hotel. I'm not going to that hotel. When she got home from work, her boyfriend said, got some bad news, the hotel's been changed. And she was like, that's fine. Where are we going? And it was the chain that she wanted. They got their own bungalow, and all the reviews are amazing, positive reviews. So she is a happy bunny, and she's flying out next week. So she now knows, because she was back in 2018 as well. She had somebody she was going out with, and he went off with one of her friends. She was very heartbroken, very bitter. And before sort of really understanding everyone is you pushed out, I said, you know, you'll meet somebody good, and you know, we like to believe our mums. And she did. And they've got their own house. You know, she always wanted a chow chow dog, and she found one really easily. So we're going to pick him up. My fairy grandson, we're looking after him soon. for the week while they go abroad. So yes, it's your reality. All realities exist. How do you want it to be? You can sit there feeling and playing a victim in your reality, or you can change it and focus on what you do want. Yes, it's not always as easy. We do have that negative come in, but when you keep reminding yourself, hey, it's my personal reality, I'm the boss. Okay, there's already a version of me that's doing what I want to be doing and having what I want, so I've got to tap it and tune into that by doing repetition. Very much so. Just put that back in. Thank you, Cece. Again, the biggest thing is when something comes up in 3D, are you going to accept it or reject it? If it's not what you want, reject it. You don't have to physically say anything. Okay, I just change everything within. As within, so without. It's a projection. Okay, or the photocopier. So you have to think, well, if I'm rejecting this, then what do I want? What is the outcome that I am only going to accept? And then that is when I become crystal clear on it, and then I have to start doing like, okay, so what's the opposite? A couple of sentences that imply like, instead of worrying about money now, I say, no, I've got plenty of money. In fact, I've got more money than I know what to do with. I've got a bank account full of money. I've always got more than enough money. In fact, I'm rich. Okay, I'm financially secure. But the old me wants to look at my bank account and wants to, 3D is going to show me proof that I don't have that yet, but I have to go, whatever. Yeah, in one reality, I'm flat broke. In another reality, this, that, and the other. And you keep persisting in that new assumption, okay, until it becomes a hardened fact. Your assumptions, when persisted in, harden into fact in the physical. Everything that you're in the physical at the moment is what you've already believed and assumed and reacted to, okay, so, and accepted to be true. Change it. There you go then. I'm certainly not going back to my personal hell on earth. I'm only accepting my heaven on earth. It's my choice where my thoughts dwell, and if I'm not disciplined enough. Yeah, there's days I felt like giving up. Okay, I even a couple of months ago wrote out a letter to myself from my future self. Hey, this is your future self. This is, I'm so proud of you for all you affirming and staying on your mental diet and that, and this is what you've achieved. So everything that I wanted, I wrote it as if I already had it, that my future self was saying, here you go. This is what you now have in your life. And because I've read it every morning and every night, there's lots of things on there that I've ticked off because I've persisted in that and felt like, oh, well, it's already mine. It's starting to come into my reality. Okay, it's not always instant, and that's where a lot of people give up. Yeah, but I've been affirming, abracadabra, where is it? And they look back at 3D and they're not seeing it reflected back yet. Well, some things, if you've got no resistance or old stories or unwanted versions of people, it is instant. Okay, it can be. I know where I've thought negative things and I've thought about it for more than a minute and I'm like, shit. Don't be surprised if that comes in. Okay, and it will, because I've assumed it. But I don't react to it anymore. I change it and go, okay, didn't like that. So note to oneself, stop doing it. Stop putting in the photocopier that I don't want photocopied. Only put in there what I want to see photocopied out. So I can shift things pretty quick now. It's like all the different things that you learn is like a toolbox or a first aid kit. Okay, I've cut my finger, so I'll have a plaster. But another day I might have broken my arm and need a bandage. Okay, you're using different things. You might want a hammer to hammer a nail or a screwdriver for a screw. So all the different techniques and the different knowledge is there for me to go to when I need to grab something to change. What tool can I use to get me out of this funk that I'm in? Okay, yes, death and rebirth. And I love that in one of my other cards as well, because that is woo, so relevant. And this comes out a lot in readings that I'm doing. Here on the death and rebirth card, death and rebirth. But what's he doing? He's seeing the future that he wants in his head, in his imagination. He's seeing it inside himself. It's not a face looking up at something. Okay, so in order, you've got to kill off the old you and your old beliefs and assumptions that have held you bound and limited yourself. Go in your imagination where all things are possible. Okay, and you live in that in order to get the rebirth, the end of the old, beginning of the new. But only you can do it. Only you are inside your thoughts all day long. There's nobody else in your head. So what are you telling yourself? If you don't like what you're telling yourself, be aware of it, observe it and change it. But you've got to stick to the new. If you keep wavering and reacting back to the old, you're going to take longer to get there, or you won't get there. Yes, so I had my rebirth, if you like. I had to kill off the old me in order to get the new me, but the old version is still there. All versions exist. So she will creep back in, but I can deal with her quicker and not dwell in it for days, weeks and months or years like I used to before, expecting everybody else to change it, but nobody could, because everyone's a reflection of me. Everybody is reflecting me, my beliefs and assumptions back to me. If I think somebody's an arsehole, they're going to be an arsehole. If I think somebody's wonderful, they're going to be wonderful. So when somebody is being an arsehole, I only then are like, okay, there's a version of them that isn't. So what is that version that I'm only going to entertain? And it's the same for anybody, your boss or anything. Look at what you're saying about them or about your job or about yourself or your family members or your friends or your partners or ex-lover that you want back in your life. If you're looking at everything that's going wrong and everything you don't have, then you won't get that. Have you written any? No. Not something I want to do. So no. That's why I prefer doing lives, because things flow to me when people are asking me questions. If I had to sit here, like when I was doing my other channel, I did like the basics, but then to keep doing content, I couldn't think of it and sit there and do it. But when I'm talking about it, I can. That's why I do it on Instagram as well. Okay, but today in Pop the Thought, why don't you on this channel come back to like spirituality, manifesting and well-being to help people, because I know a lot of people follow me and they are then getting triggered by 3D. They're still living lives that are not making them happy. We're all capable. We're all the boss of our reality. Oh, hello Wendy Ann, my lovely. It wouldn't, because everything that I'm saying is nothing unique. It's nothing that's not been said before. You know, Neville speaks about all this. There's, you know, the guys who do the realities books. There's so many. you know, there's already on YouTube a million people saying the same thing. Just sometimes we need to hear it from people, and then somebody will say it a slightly different way, but it means the same thing and it clicks. On Instagram, I always say about when I was learning to drive. Okay, as soon as I turned 17, I applied for my provisional driving license. Before I was 18, I passed my test. But I always knew, it's that knowingness. Okay, I always knew I wanted to drive a car thing. When I was learning to drive, I could not get my head around changing gear. And I changed instructors, and one of them said, "What are you doing?" And I said, I can't get my head around changing gears. He said, "Well, think of it like a baby crying. When it cries, it needs changing." Just that simple words, that simple sentence, it clicked. And I breezed my lessons from there on. Okay, so sometimes we just need to hear it put a different way, or the way somebody says something, even though we've heard it a million times, but it doesn't always go in. I have clients myself where I will tell them from day one things, and then 6 months later or whatever, or 3 months later, they'll come, "I've just listened to another video and they said this," and I said, "Well, actually, I've told you that already." Okay, but they hear it in a different way that makes it click. That's all. You write poetry, lovely. Oh, thank you, Charlie. Happiness is just a state of being. Okay, we look a lot as humans thinking that something is going to make us happy. But if you're feeling sad, you can just close your eyes and imagine something that makes you can think of your favorite pet, or you can think of your person telling you they love you even though they're not physically in your separation. Is an illusion because we're all attached by energy. So people are acting how you say they are. Again, if you think somebody's an asshole, they're going to keep being an asshole. Okay, if you think somebody is loving and doting and loves you and adores you, they will. They're not always going to change straight away, but when you're pursuing that version, that is how they're going to reflect back. Everybody reflects you back to you, remember. Okay, so again, for me, I don't look at anybody else, like I was saying earlier. I'm not looking at anybody else to make me happy, whole and complete, because I've worked on myself. I know that I have to make myself happy, whole and complete. Okay, so I don't get disappointed anymore. I was wondering, why is it on pick a card readings that when they say, "What is your person feeling about you?" how come it's always the same person energy that shows up in the cards? Ooh, hang on a minute, let me pick a card reading that when they say, "What is your person feeling about you?" how come it's always the same person energy? How do you mean by same person energy? Just clarify that for me a little bit so I can answer it better. And while you're doing that, I notice my stuff's moved in the chat. So I think I know what you're saying, but I just want you to clarify so I don't go off and ramble about something that you don't mean. If you get what I mean. And thank you as well for the lovely positive energy donations as well that you've been sending in during the chat. Every little helps. Okay, have you done the same guy for years in the readings? Okay, so do you have, okay, if you're still thinking about that person, then you're obviously watching pick a card readings that are about a specific person. So is it this person? Let's answer that one first. So a lot of people who follow me, they've got an ex or somebody that they're not in contact with anymore, however long it's been, that they want back. They've never let go. So exactly. So that's why it's coming out. Because your outside world reflects you back to you. So what is it saying? Okay, when it's saying, yes, this person still thinks about you, they still love you, etc., etc. Okay, then they are, because we're all attached by energy. You can think of a friend or a family member, and they'll ring you and you're like, bloody hell, just thinking about you, and vice versa. Okay, because we're all attached by energy. What you are thinking about them is how they're acting. So then when it starts to get into a reading like, oh, but they're scared to come forward, or they don't want to be in a committed relationship with you, or they see the relationship is over. Rubbish. Okay, you see that as feedback to, yes, my thoughts are telling me every time I think about this person, oh, they probably don't want to be with me anymore. It's been X amount of years. Time's an illusion. There is only now in time and space. All realities exist. All versions of your person exist. That's why when I'm mentoring, I'm helping people to stay focused on only the reality they want. Okay, so you obviously want to either have this person back in your life as a friend or as a lover. Because if not, you wouldn't be interested in them. You'd have moved on. Yes, we think about people from our past every now and again, but it's not like from a, it's like a, oh, I wonder what they're doing, or something reminds you of something that you did with that person. Oh yeah, I went on holiday with that person. But when you are actively choosing pick a card readings that are asking you, how do you want your person to think about you and feel about you? You want them to be in love with you. You want them to be in a committed relationship with you. And that's what you need to start affirming. Okay, so if you, I've got the Get Them Back playlist on this channel. I've got my other channel that you can find in the description box or on the homepage of my Sophia channel, or on Instagram at Sophia Psychic Tarot. Okay, I give mentoring on there, and a lot of people have got their SPs back. Okay, even people they haven't been in touch with for years. It doesn't matter. Time's an illusion. You're the one focusing on the time it's been. Your person could show up within days or weeks if you shift within. Okay, not if you're looking at the old story, an unwanted version. This is why I started doing mentoring, to help people, because before I came across the law of assumption, the other spiritual laws, universal laws, I would say to clients in readings, no, sorry, you know, the past is the past, whatever. I didn't get a lot of people in my one-to-one readings who were coming in about an ex. That was totally new when I started my YouTube channel. Okay, I was seeing people on about that. So that's why I don't do my pick a card readings anymore, because I've evolved from that. I'll do live readings for people because it's personal to them when I do my live readings, but I did do the shorts for a while. I will get back into doing them, but pick a card readings, there's so many of them on there. Literally, you take them with a pinch of salt. See it as feedback. If you listen to one and it picks you up for the day, yes, my person still loves me, stay in that energy. Yes, my person loves me. Of course they do. Why wouldn't they? I'm amazing. I'm irresistible. I'm beautiful. I'm the love of their life. They love me and only me. Okay, they want me and only me. They want to be in a totally committed relationship with me. We are in a beautiful relationship. Okay, you have to feel like the person who is in a relationship as well. You don't have to, but it helps to get it quicker. Okay, so yeah, emotion, energy, emotion, you know, and disease is dis-ease. Okay, when you're not at ease with something, when you are, you know, not happy with something, it causes disease, it causes illnesses, it causes negativity to sink in. Okay, depression, anxiety, etc., etc. You know, a lot of my clients, I just help get them out of that as well. Yes, so for you as well, people are showing up. So for me, one of my affirmations is my clients are all success stories. However long it takes them to understand that they're the ones that has to change within, okay, they will end up, it's only the ones that really cannot grasp it and keep reacting to 3D and the old that don't get, yes, they will eventually, or they might not. But again, with healing, as well, you are seeing yourself as a healer, but it's your faith and your belief that you heal people. So you have to see people that you've healed because that's your belief. I read, there's a very good story that Neville Goddard says, because he was into astrology. He did astrological charts for people before he came across the law of assumption, okay, or might have been in the early days of it. And he would, he then taught other people to read astrology, okay? So he went one day to one of his friend's house. It was a woman who'd started doing it to earn a bit of money on the side. And she was really upset, and he said, "What's the matter?" And she said, "I've just done a chart for somebody, and I was so convinced that they were going to get some money today that I said to them, you can give me the money now because I'm that convinced you're going to get the money today." And the person was like, "Well, I'll wait and see, but hey ho." But she said, after I'd done the reading, I realised that the wind had blown my book, and I did a chart based on somebody who wasn't even born. I think there was a 10 years difference, okay? And Neville said, don't worry about it. If you believe that that person in your reality is going to win some money, they will. And later on that day, she had a telegram and money deposited into her bank account because she believed that. Okay, it's your beliefs. Everything is a mirror. That's why nobody's got any power over you unless you give your power to them. It's your personal reality, not theirs. They can do what the hell they like in their reality. They're seeing you totally different to how you see yourself. Okay, it's like when you might say to somebody, "So what do you think of me then?" And they might say, "Oh, well, you're pretty critical, or you're pretty harsh, or you're pretty judgmental." And you're like, "I'm not like that at all." You're showing up in their reality based on their assumptions, beliefs, and thoughts. Okay, people are showing up in your reality based on your beliefs, assumptions. Okay, everyone's you pushed out in your personal reality. Okay, hang on a minute. Let me see what we're putting here. We'll go expand on it. People heal themselves in truth. Yes, I heal myself really quick. Yeah, because it's like when people come to me for a reading, they're thinking I'm gonna, a psychic is going to change their lives, but it picks them up for, Spirit brought this in very much a couple of lives ago. In the day, I said about it in a live that years ago when I did readings, okay, and people were coming to my house to have readings, they would go away because there wasn't YouTube with thousands and thousands of readings on there. So you would, and Wendy Ann knows this story as well. So they would come to me, this is what I'm seeing, they would go off. So even when they started to doubt, so at first they're like, yeah, I'm going to get that job, I'm going to get an amazing job, or I'm going to move abroad, or I'm going to be married, okay. Then even when, as the days went past, they would think to themselves, oh, well, I'm not seeing anything. They would think, oh, well, I went and saw a psychic, she saw the future, and so it's going to happen. So they had that belief, they believed it, okay. Just like with healing, if I can heal people because I'll say, I don't need to give them herbs or anything. I just say, if I want to do remote healing or whatever, then they're believing in that. So yes, you are aiding them because it's helping to shift them. Father died, I've been stuck in a bitter court case over my son. So again, you know, there's a wonderful story that Neville said about his first son. He wanted his son to live with him, and the wife was like, no. She absolutely slated his name. She slated everything about him. She poisoned the son against him. But Neville knew the law. If I assume that my son is with me, then that has to happen. I don't figure out the how and the when. So he would imagine or hear a conversation that implied that his son was already living with him. When the boy turned 12, the mother didn't want to know. She said, you have him. Okay, so he didn't need to focus on the drama. He didn't need to focus on the 3D crap. What was the outcome that he wanted? Because whatever he assumed to be true had to become true when persisted in. So again, you know, what thoughts, what are you reacting to about, oh, it's a bitter divorce case? Because I would, divorce case is a bitter case because I would not be going through putting myself through that knowing the law. Okay, no, yes, there is a reality where things have gone shit and it's horrible, but there's a reality where I've got this outcome because all outcomes exist. Only focus on that. And to do that, you have to repeat the new story over and over again. I've had other clients in the same, okay, in child custody disputes, and they don't, when they realize that they're really like, oh, the mother is this or the father is this and it's bitter and it's this and they're taking me for every penny and this is awful. When they stop doing that, of course that person, you know, the mother or the father wants me to be in my child's life, or this is the outcome I want. It's your personal reality. What outcome do you want? Doesn't matter what anybody else, they'll get their outcome in their reality. So what outcome do you want in your reality? Everyone is you pushed out. Sorry, I'm still going through the question. Wendy Ann went into shock when my SP told me he'd been to visit his ex-girlfriend and that he hung out with her parents, had a cuppa and chat with her, collected his things. I never expected that news. I felt hurt. Why would you feel hurt? Yes, for a split second. Oh, but then, you know what? He was only ever going to choose me. Yeah, he was just picking up his stuff from somebody he went out with who's an ex for a reason. Okay? I'm the love of his life. I'm always chosen. You start coming back to that. I certainly wouldn't have let it, something came up for me this year where something happened and I was like, no, I'm first best. I'm number one. I'm always chosen. I'm the boss. Remember, nothing has a meaning until you give it a meaning. Yeah, he went to some old girlfriends. They had a cup of tea because they're mature adults, okay? And he collected his stuff. Catching up on old times, who gives a fuck? Okay, he's collected his stuff. He ain't got to see her anymore. You know, don't give it a meaning that would show me that I had insecurities still and I still had to work on them. Sorry, I'm still getting down your things here, but I'm like, I am mighty, I've got this, yes, oh yes, as have I the best of us face the most difficult, and I believe for myself I will never let anyone take my heart. I work really hard to keep it intact. Yes, you do, yeah. You teach me I do not have room for doubt, yes. Ooh. Brilliant. Now I just have to facilitate and promote his relationship with his mother. Again, see her how you want her, because there's a perfect version of her that exists, that's giving you everything you want, who is being perfectly fine. Don't focus on the old unwanted version. You have to, this is the only person that I'm engaging in. That's when he was 10, oh my goodness. Oh, 10 weeks old, sorry, 3 days. Sorry. My firstborn passed away when he was 10 weeks, 3 days old, and have a 6-year-old whose father kidnapped him. Oh, no. I mean, we can't bring back the child that's passed to spirit, but you can certainly get your 6-year-old back in your imagination. All Neville did was imagined his hand on the back of his son's head, in that knowing that, yes, I'm sat here with my son. And the universe, okay, whatever, had to be that which you assume to be true. So if you're assuming you are with your child and you're not figuring out the how and the when, and you stay in that every day, okay, you're either hearing a conversation where a family member is saying, what are you and your child up to? You know, I don't know whether it's a son or a daughter, sorry. You know, and you're saying, oh, we went out today, we had a picnic or whatever, and you stay in that happy feeling. In your imagination, there's no punishments, there's no fear, there's no limits, only the limits you're placing on your same self. There's no guilt and shame. If you can think it, you can have it. Okay, because all realities exist. All you need to do is stay tapped in, tuned into it. And when you start to fall out of it and you start to look back at 3D and you start to go over old things, no, that's where you've got to be disciplined. Like a director in a movie, cut. You know, what lines were those? That's not in the script. Okay, you can have your son back, your child back with you. I will tell you that now, and you don't have to lift a finger other than in your imagination. And again, Charlie, it doesn't matter whether you know where he is or not. You live in your imagination as if your son is with you. You can even go back and revise that the kidnap never happened. Okay, believe me, my lovely, you can get your child back, but you have to do it all within. Okay, you might be prompted to naturally do something, but it will feel natural. You're not looking for it. You're not engaging in 3D. 3D is what you've already created. Okay, you will feel in what they call inspired action. So one day you might feel inspired to do something or go to a certain place. It doesn't matter how. There is a reality where you and your child are together. I will tell you that now. And you have to tap into that as if you are that mother. You know, you are that mother of that child anyway, but you're with that child. And you can do it by doing an imaginal scene for 10 minutes. You can then do scripting as if you're scripting or writing a letter to somebody about how you and your child have had a lovely, you know, it's normal. What would you be doing if you were with your child? Okay. Skylar's with me every day and Liam visits me in his dreams. Yes, the son that you lost will visit you in your dreams, because we're all still energy. Even though he's not physically here, he's energetically here. Okay, you could go forward saying, me and Liam are so happy that Skylar is here with us. Okay, we're all energy. You can get what you want, believe me, you can. If you need me for mentoring to help you, then I will be more than happy to do that. Details are in my description box. Stormy, yeah, oh, I've just seen the time as well. It's coming up to my dinner time here as well. I never keep my son away from his mother despite our conflict. We are both equally important in his life. Definitely. But it's remember, all versions of people exist, but the unwanted version will come back if you focus back on that. So focus only on the version that you're going to accept. Okay, how do you want that perfect version of her showing up in your reality? So when you think of her, you have to go to that version. Okay, she is respectful. She is a perfect mother. She allows me to do this, that and the other. Okay, I don't. It's personal to you. It's your personal reality. Yes. Right then, my lovelies. Gone on longer than I thought, but hey ho, I will come in and chat with you when I can. I can't say it's going to be the same time every day. It won't be the same time every day. Mother is the name for God on the lips and in the hearts of all our children. Yes. So my lovelies, I'm going to leave this with you. I hope that it's helped you. You can listen back to this live if you need to. Okay, when it's up and running. I told you I itch on this jumper. But you can certainly, remember, it's your personal reality. You're the boss. You need to stay in your power. Okay, we're not giving our power to anybody else because we don't want to accept shit in our lives, basically. All versions exist. All realities exist. All things are possible. We just don't figure out the how and the when. We imagine we've already got it. We're already doing it. Okay, and yes, we will fall out of that and we will waver, but it's how quickly you pick yourself back up. Right, I'm going to go and have some dinner. I'm going to go and visit my niece, who's 2. I bought her some yummy things to play with today, so I'm going to go and see my family this evening. So I love you all. I hope this has helped you. There will be more tea with Sophia. Stormy, have a lovely sleep. Sorry, you'll have to put this on repeat and listen to my boring voice. My beautiful voice, of course. And I will catch up with you all again soon. Stay in your powers. You're the boss. Love and light.